Change is the only constant, and Nigeria's government is embracing it, with policies and strategies being revamped to drive growth and sustainability. One area set to feel the impact is the land sector. According to the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Dr. Taiwo Oyedele, Nigerians are about to witness major reforms in land transactions, particularly in areas of land titling and the harmonization of property taxes. These developments form part of the opportunities emerging for stakeholders in the building and construction sector, as contained in the 2024 tax bill currently before the Senate for approval. Mr. Oyedele made this known during the Building and Construction Forum organized by the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, COBON, and Housing Development Advocacy Network, HDAN, with the theme, Nigerian Tax Reforms and the Building and Construction Industry, Implications and Opportunities. He emphasized that the new tax reforms are designed to stimulate growth and investment in the building and construction sector by addressing long-standing tax burdens and regulatory barriers.
By discussing some more specific areas affecting the building and construction industry in terms of the implications and the opportunities. One is VAT exemption, so no VAT on land, no VAT on sale of real estate, and rent is exempted from VAT. Some of these were areas of controversies in the past. What we've done in the reform bills is to make them very clear so there is no debate. Because sometimes even when you are right and it's not clear, you may spend 10 years in court trying to find out. So those problems will be behind us. Stamp duties. There's an exemption on stamp duties for rents that is below 10 million naira a month. So if you're paying rent, which is what many people would do because they don't own a house, you won't have to pay stamp duties unless you're a rich person who is paying a lot. It's not like we are punishing rich people, it's just that they have better ability to pay. Then capital gains tax is exempted on the sale of your dwelling house. So if you have a dwelling house that you are selling, sometimes when you sell a dwelling house, it's not a good thing. It might be because of circumstances, so we don't want you to be paying capital gains tax. Withholding tax on construction, maximum of 2%, so which means the rate is very, very significantly reduced. Although this will not apply to some of the services. You know there's a lot of services in your sector as well. Some of those sector services are considered to be professional services, and they will attract a higher rate. There's priority sector incentive. So we identify sectors that we believe should be priority to Nigeria, and then we've introduced some incentives for those sectors to grow in a very meaningful way. And one of the sectors included is building materials. So this priority sector incentive is biased towards manufacturing, not so much of services. Again, because as a country, we need to prioritize producing things more than anything else. So we have that, and then the land reform. So this aspect of our reform is still ongoing. So we are discussing with the subnational, you know, they're the ones that own the lands. We're discussing with them on how to ensure that we have proper land reform to enable activities in the build sector. Why is it so complicated to get title to land, do land transaction? You know, so if you go and buy land in Lagos, for example, you start praying to God that they've not sold it to 5 people at the same time. You know, those things constrain our ability to grow.
Also speaking, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Musa Dengiwa, while delivering his opening remarks, stated that Nigeria for a long time has been facing very systemic challenges owing to the way the government has structured and administered key aspects of the country's economy. He said that Nigerians should embrace reforms, opening new vistas of potentials and taking hard decisions in order to make a change and move the country forward. Dengiwa called on stakeholders in the building and construction industry, particularly COBON, to engage proactively to understand, prepare for, and leverage the implications and opportunities embedded in the tax reforms.
My name remains Timmy. I'm representing the Honorable Minister, who is unavoidably absent due to national assignment. And I would like to go straight to his speech. I am happy to join you at this inaugural edition of the Building and Construction Industry Forum, organized by the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, COBAN. Let me begin by commending the organizers of this event for the foresight in choosing a theme that resonates with the bold reforms of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to transform our economy under the Renew Hope agenda. Nigeria has for a very long time been facing very systemic challenges owing to the way we have structured and administered key aspects of our economy. If we want to make a change and move forward, it is important that we do things differently. This means embracing reforms, opening new vistas of potentials, and taking hard decisions. This is exactly what Mr. President is doing. As you are aware, the federal government has embarked on comprehensive and ambitious tax reform agenda with the recent introduction of the Nigerian Tax Bill 2024. The Tax Reform Bill 2024 is a significant legislative proposal aimed at simplifying, harmonizing, and consolidating Nigeria's national tax laws. Born out of public necessity, this bill seeks to address critical issues such as structural overlap, challenges in revenue mobilization, and the decline of small and medium-sized enterprises, which are vital to Nigeria's economy. The building and construction industry, being one of the highest employers of labor and a key contributor to GDP, sits at the heart of this transition. It is therefore important that stakeholders like COBAN engage proactively to understand, prepare for, and leverage the implications and opportunities that are embedded in tax reforms. The Nigerian Tax Bill 2024 introduces a number of provisions with direct impact on our sector. The bill permits the deduction of expenses wholly and exclusively incurred in the production of income, including costs such as rent, wages, construction materials, and employee benefit. This offers a whole relief to construction firms and contractors who maintain efficient cost documentation and tax planning. Gains from the proposal of land and buildings now fall within the tax net. Many builders and developers must now incorporate capital gains taxation into project planning and plan and pricing structures. Meanwhile, construction materials and services remain within the scope of value-added tax, and contracts may attract stamp duties, reinforcing the need for builders to adopt sound compliance and invoicing system. There is also a notable provision for economic development tax incentives. The bill outlines tax credits and exemptions for sectors deemed critical to national development. Given the labor-intensive and value-chain impact of construction, our industry stands to benefit provided we meet eligibility conditions such as job creation and local sourcing. Additionally, the introduction of presumptive taxation offers a simplified framework for artisans, tradespeople, and subcontractors operating informally. This opens up a pathway to formalization, financial inclusion, and access to credit for many currently outside the formal economy. These reforms, while ambitious, present tremendous opportunities with clearer tax guidelines and simpler entry points. We now have the tools to integrate a significant portion of informal sector actors into the formal construction economy. Better tax records will make our companies more attractive to lenders and investors, enhancing access to finance. As the tax base expands, so too will public investment in infrastructure, spurring job creation and skill development across our value chain. Perhaps most critically, a transparent and predictable tax regime will encourage both domestic and foreign investors to participate in real estate and construction on a much larger scale. And the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development will recognize that taxation, when well structured, is not a burden, but a tool for development. That is why we have fully aligned our housing policies with fiscal reforms. We are also working with tax authority to ensure that real estate and housing investment are guided by clarity, equity, and investor protection. We believe this tax reform offers a timely opportunity to build a more resilient, formal, and financially sustainable construction sector. As we navigate this new landscape, I urge stakeholders in the building and construction sector to see this reform not as hurdles, but as a blueprint for industrial revival. I also encourage COBON to continue to champion advocacy, training, and compliance awareness to ensure that our sector remains a key driver of national development. Let me once again thank the Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria for this invitation. Thank you, and God bless you all.
The moderator of the panel discussion, Builder Adetunji Adeniran, raised the issue of documentation, urging a simplification of the tax processes for better compliance.
While Mr. Idele was making his presentation, one of the things I thought was very important for us in the industry to note is the issue of documentation. And I think he alluded to that partially because you will not be able to enjoy the benefits if you don't keep your records the way they ought to be kept. Perhaps this time I will start with him to probably shed a bit more light on this before I then go to the industry practitioners to ask what challenges do you think would exist, especially with documentation, to be able to take advantage of the benefits that the tax reforms hold for us. So in terms of documentation, are there standard forms? Are there going to be designed things that will make the process predictable, if you like, in terms of what is expected from industry players?
During the panel discussion, Builder Magaji highlighted the outdated nature of some tax laws and stressed that SMEs remain the backbone of Nigeria's construction sector.
There are a lot of archaic laws, as explained by the guest speaker. A couple of years back, I was faced with dealing with Nigerian Railway Corporation, and there was an agreement that we had to sign, and they brought those agreements with laws, I think citing ordinances. Those are pre-independence laws. And there were even penalties that we had to pay in shillings, and I didn't know where we could find shillings, you know. So I think, guest speaker, honestly, you have a lot of job on your hands. In construction industry, we have a lot of SMEs. Those SMEs are the backbone of construction industry. And when they are slammed with tax, it becomes very difficult for them to operate. the cost of operation will be so high and it will be difficult for them to survive.
Also contributing during the panel discussion, Barrister Festus Adebayo, Executive Director of HDAN, expressed concern over multiple taxation, advocating for incentives to support professionals in the building industry.
What happened to that real estate developer who has to go to 12 agencies in Lagos and pay money, or in the name of building a house in the estate? And that has made the houses not affordable. And the people that really build the houses cannot get it. What is your reform doing in the area of incentive to encourage developers to go into the development of affordable housing? Is there any provision that says if urban shelter goes into the production of low-cost housing for the journalists, for the doctors, this is the incentive we are going to enjoy? We believe if that incentive is introduced, now that we are still at the point of discussion, that will address our issue of affordability in the housing industry. And one of those people that support the idea that empty houses should be taxed, we know the owners. So they to get the money that the same people that we are looking for. So they get money from them.
As Nigeria continues to push for economic reforms, stakeholders believe it is a new dawn for the building and construction sector. With strategic implementation, taxation, when rightly applied, can be a driver of both progress and prosperity.
Spin and Win live at the Africa International Housing Show. Amazing prizes await. Get ready for an exciting Spin and Win experience happening live at the Africa International Housing Show venue. This is your chance to test your luck and walk away with incredible prizes. Spin the wheel and win fantastic rewards, including smartphones, wristwatches, cooking utensils, household furniture, and the ultimate prize, a plot of land. Don't miss out on the thrill and the opportunity to win big. Join the fun at the venue of AIA Quest, Transcorp Hilton Event Center from the 27th of July to 1st August 2025. Spin the wheel and claim your prize. Don't miss out.